I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Mr. Brophy.
Here.
Ms. Deeroff.
Present.
Ms. Kratz.
Here.
Ms. Nyman.
Here.
Ms. Scott.
Here.
Mr. Brad Updegrove.
Here.
Mr. Roger Updegrove.
Here.
Mr. Zawada.
Here.
Mr. Penarello.
Here.
All present.
We will rise for a pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence with special thoughts for Detective Sergeant Cody Becker, Detective Mark Baker, Detective Isaiah Emmenheiser, who were murdered last week, and for Charlie Kirk. The Board of School Directors held an executive session prior to the September 23rd, 2025 meeting. The topic was legal, and the session lasted approximately 30 minutes. Student Representative Report.
Good evening, board members and meeting attendees. We are so happy to be here today for our first report of the 2025-2026 school year. The summer has flown by, but we are both so excited to be back. We look forward to hearing from Liliana and all the amazing things she's been doing in college, but I'm also quite excited to be sharing this table with a new face, someone both Liliana and I could see would take the world by storm, our new junior representative, Audrey Clemson. I hope everyone wishes her a warm welcome, and with that, I present to you our beginning of the school year report, highlighting some of the fun and transformative events taking place at BASH for September.
I still remember my first day as a freshman, feeling both nervous and excited as I walked into the building for the first time. That's why it's so special to see how welcome this year's freshmen were at both orientation and the freshman tailgate. Orientation was great. Students got to meet new people and new teachers and get comfortable with the building. The tailgate was fun, offering community and good food before the first football game. Overall, the first week was great, and students are getting settled into classes, reconnecting with friends, and kicking off another great school year.
The past 3 years I've spent at BASH have gone by in a flash. But even with all the chaos that is being a senior, there's already been so much to look forward to. September has been an eventful month for us seniors, filled with fun and planning for the future. Senior Sunrise occurred on September 5th, and although I was not able to make it, I heard great things from all my friends who got to attend. While there wasn't much of a sunrise due to, you guessed it, overcast, I honestly see it as more of a testament to our class striving to make good memories even when things don't go as expected. I heard the donuts and hot chocolate were quite delicious. And while it is just the beginning of the year, we seniors were pushed to think about our future, well, towards graduation. Caps and gowns had to be ordered by September 11th, which made this, being our last year, feel quite surreal, as one of my fellow seniors said. Thinking about graduation brings about so many feelings, some happy, some nervous, some even a little sad to leave behind what we've always known. But I know that we students can do great things. Lastly, seniors this month were tasked with something that will help define their senior year and how they are presented to the school community, their senior presentation. This past summer, I pondered how I could fit my entire life and aspirations into a mere 650 words. And earlier this month, all seniors were to ponder how to sum up their education and career exploration journey into a 6 to 8 minute presentation. I can't speak for all seniors, but I'm very excited to present what I put together and share my aspirations with the professionals who observed my presentation in October.
After those senior milestones, the next big event on almost all students' calendars is homecoming. Ticket sales for the dance kicked off on September 15th, and excitement is already building as students start making plans. The dance will be held on October 4th in the Bear Gym from 6 to 10 p.m., and it will definitely be a highlight of the fall. We really hope we can win the game and instill some Bear pride into the student body, but even if not, I'm sure everyone will be jamming the same at the dance the following day. Dress shopping, might I say, might as well be one of my favorite parts of homecoming. But of course, the dance and game itself are the highlights.
A new year marks a new beginning for all the clubs and organizations Bash has to offer. Even in the first week of school, club meetings have already begun, setting the stage for a successful year. On September 10th, Youth and Government met for their first time for pancakes in the park. Although we were a bit rained out, the pancakes were still delicious, and the meeting was both informative and enjoyable. Similarly, clubs like FBLA have also met for their first meeting to plan chocolate fundraisers and pick out events for this school year. FBLA's goal for this year is to help beautify the outdoor cafeteria area at Bash. I'm so excited as a new member about all the great things we could do for the school this year.
Another event was our first half day of September 17th. To make the day even more exciting, once again, Chick-fil-A sandwiches were on sale during all school lunch periods. I can speak for the student body when I say that almost everyone is happy that the half-day Chick-fil-A tradition is continuing, as the line was very, very long. But of course, it's also for a good cause. The money raised will go towards the class of 2027's prom, which is mine, so students can enjoy a great lunch while also supporting their classmates' future celebration as seniors.
And with that, we thank the board for a great first meeting. We can already tell it's going to be the start of an eventful year for Bash, and we are ready to help shine light in all the amazing things taking place. We look forward to bringing you Bash's best moments next month for October.
Thank you. Public comment period number 1, Scott Shield, Mechanical Systems Overview. Scott, we are having a Mechanical Systems Overview in 2 sessions. Do you want to put yours off till after that, or do you want to talk now?
Thank you, everybody. Back. So I'm really excited to hear the mechanical overview because that's a huge system for the district. There are many components. I mean, the boilers and chillers are just a small part. You have RTUs, you have FCUs, and you have a lot of problems with pneumatics and things like that. So I'm very excited to hear how those different issues are all going to play in tonight to the overview. With that being said, at the last meeting, I watched it, and there were some untruths told about the way the facility department was run as a whole. So those chillers, when they're new, have a 2-year warranty. After that, they go under service agreements with whoever the vendor is of the chiller make and model, whether that be JCI for York or, if it's Mitsubishi, Fujitsu. We always try to keep those people in place. In 2021, we switched because we wanted to price check JCI because they were getting out of control with their repairs. So what we did was we went with HT Lyons for 2 years. So HT Lyons came in for 2 years, and then we switched back to JCI in 2023, 24. So they were always under contract. The boilers themselves have also been under contract with 3B Boiler. They used to come out and combustion check them. We'd clean them ourselves, change nozzles, and check the fuel. But other than that, they would come out and combustion check them, make sure they were running correctly. We didn't have, excess gas or anything like that. So those were checked. And now they are fully under service contracts because I signed them before I left for 3 years under 3B Boiler. As far as why the chiller broke, those chillers have had problems since day one, from VSDs exploding and overamping and overcurrenting, which JCI actually put technical bulletins out on it. So I have 2 technical bulletins that show the overcurrent that happens on those motors. We also had bacteria grow in the VSD coolant, so that caused blockages, which caused the heating plates behind them to overheat. So we got those things taken care of, but it greatly shortened the life of the motor. Also, the company JCI wants to come in and PID loop tune it. So that way we were sure that the percentage of the chillers running matches the load. So right now there's a lot of spikes on those graphs. You want those to be a steady line. From the get-go, that was part of the Giza project done in 2016 to 18. And what happened is we had all different kinds of communication contractors. So nobody really knows. There was never an SOP written for that, the way that those chillers should operate as far as the cooling tower. So they require a cooling tower. So what was happening is the cooling towers were bringing water back that was a little too warm. And they think that could have also played into the motor failure. As far as, is there anything we could have done? No, JCI was checking it. Like, we do oil analysis, there were vibration samples, let me back up. There were vibration tests done and oil samples. Our techs never touched those machines because they didn't have the qualifications. So only
Scott,
trained techs. Go ahead.
3 minutes are up. Can you make it brief? Just close it out.
Sure. So I'll open it up to you guys. I just wanted to tell you that's the long and short of what I had to say.
Yeah.
Is that there should be no worries. They were under contracts. All those documents of their services are in a Google Drive at the office. So if I don't have access anymore, I'd give them to you. All right. Thank you, everybody.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Have a great evening.
Who's it first? Mr. Shield?
Yeah,
Mr.
can we
Shield,
ask him
can you
questions?
Can you sit for 1 second? Ms. Nine has a question.
Yes, I looked at your presentation that you presented in March of 25,
Yeah.
before you left. And in that, you put in there about having that motor
Mm-hmm.
rebuilt.
Yes.
What happened to that?
And capital projects got moved to June. Instead of being what we did in the past, which the past is always correct, but I used to present in March and get them approved in March. That way I could get vendors scheduled by June so that the first day of summer, we could have everything lined up, ready to go. This year, we decided to do it with the budget. So by the time June came, vendors were no longer able to fit us in over the summer. And then I left, so.
Who directed you not to start moving on that? Because
I'm
that
not
should have
gonna
been
point
moved on.
fingers. I don't want to point fingers, or, it was a bunch.
Okay.
It was a group.
But I did look back at your presentation, and you did have it in there, so thank you very much, and thank you for coming out tonight, too, correct?
One quick thing, I would not do that repair now, because the problem is you're gonna drain your chillers in about 2 weeks. So if you wouldn't replace your engine and park your car in the garage, right? You wanna see if the motor's gonna hold up. So that's a repair you wanna do in early spring, get it done, and then run that chiller hard to make sure that the motor is going to work for you. Because if not, you're gonna waste half the warranty, which is only a year, till they get parts, then you're out of warranty. Because lead times on York parts is extremely long. So, I'm out of time, I don't wanna take up anybody else's time, but that's just my suggestion. All right, thank you.
At this time, we're looking for the approval of the September 9th, 2025 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes.
Sawada moves.
Scott second.
Mr. Brophy,
Yes.
Ms. Deeroff,
Yes.
Ms. Kratz,
Yes.
Ms. Nyman,
No.
Ms. Scott,
Yes.
Mr. Brad Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Roger Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Zawada,
Yes.
Mr. Penarello.
Yes.
The ayes have it.
Takes us down to our first discussion item, and we do have with us this evening Declan Larimore. Declan is here to present an Eagle Scout project for the board to consider. So I welcome Declan to the podium, and believe we have your presentation up and ready to go. Okay, Declan, it's all yours.
All right. Good evening, the Boyertown School Board. My name is Declan Larimore. A quick thing just to let you to get you know about me is I'm part of the band, the marching band, and the ROTC as extracurriculars and clubs here at Bash, as I am a sophomore. So, as a band member, here I'll just move. So before I put the reason in, as a band member, I've realized that in parts of my the rooms, in the parts of the locker rooms that we have here at Bash, is they are very cluttered with heavy instruments such as tubas, bari saxes, and other heavy instruments that aren't stored properly. So in that room, it is also cluttered on the other side. If I move forward, there is a shelving there. If you look in front or behind you, in the one side there are clutters of trophies, a big shelf that has been there and hasn't even stuff been used. And some of those trophies have been sitting there and dating back to when my mom was in marching band herself. So I don't want to get rid of any of these things. It's just wanted to be moved to the, what we call in Bash, the broom room. It is the room that follows from the athletic entrance into between the band room. It is on the right where it stores the marching band equipment and has the women's and men's locker room. And so as I explained for my project, I hope to put up a shelf on the right side of the locker room in the brass room, and the point is to store those heavy instruments on the shelves. So how the shelf would work is there's a bottom base, and there are 6 poles, which are wooden poles, and they would hold up to the top base, and there would be a board that runs under to hold the shelf, and there you will put open instruments such as tubas so students can pull them out when they are ready to be used during band periods. And on top, those are for cases and other instruments that can be stored that aren't open that students can grab. That shelf mainly on the top is used for the band director and other staff or students that the band director permits, which is Mr. Campapiano. So it's only a thing that you guys can really help me for. I'm not asking particularly much for here. I just want you all to know and help me out here. And I love what you all provide for me here at Bash and what the school board does for all these schools here in the Boyertown district. And it's all I'm leaving to you is just to help me out here. So I already explained what the shelf looks like. It's going to be painted black to show less. It's going to be painted back with a clear coat and then a black coat of paint, so the shelf will last longer. And as I talked to the band director, it shows less dents and spills, however that happens. My plan to execute this project is to pre-cut out the board pieces I already have at home, and to paint it and measure it, and to bring it into the school on a date that is decided between the school, the band director and the building principal, Mr. Sparks, and is to already bring the stuff that that I have provided and put together with other scouts or fellow students, is to bring it in and assemble it and also clean that part of the room out so it looks nice, better, and to store the instruments properly, and to decide to also go through those heavy instruments and what is broken and what's not. The only thing that I need to help during the execution day of this project in the school is for the nod bathroom to be open and the athletic entrance, which can probably be watched by a student to make sure no one else walks into the building, and to make sure that there's proper parking for the people, which this will probably happen on a weekend or over a break. And just to let you all aware, this is as an Eagle Scout project, which was provided by the band director, called a Navigating to Eagle packet. It explains properly that after the project is done, me, the Eagle Scout, is not responsible for whatever happens after the project. But how I plan to put this project together, I hope that it doesn't even have to be a worry of the next even decade or so. And it's just all the material is being provided by me, and it's going to be watched over by the band director as a supervising staff member during that day. And just a quick sum up, does anyone have any questions?
Declan, so I think one of the things that we want to consider from a district perspective is that when you come to completion of the project, that we have Mr. Bramble and someone from his team come over to inspect and certify that what you've put in, it meets the specifications and needed desires from a safety perspective for us here as a school district with regard to the shelving. So we would ask that when at the conclusion of the project that we do one last inspection with our own internal facilities department. Would that be acceptable to you?
Yes, sir.
I think you would need to meet with facilities ahead of time to see what the material specifications are, so you'd be able to build to those.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. So one of the things, I think what we'll do is wait for tonight as to the board's consideration of the project, and then we can plan from there as to the steps that we need to take in regards to this. I'm assuming are you talking about coming in on a Saturday to complete a project of this magnitude?
It's any day either the band director or the staff member or any one of you is willing to let me in and do it. It's gonna probably be a day, hopefully on a Saturday, so if an extra day is needed, which is hopefully not going to happen. So I don't want it to get in the way of being incompleted on like a Sunday and having school the next day and it being a mess.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to need to talk with Mr. Bramble a little bit about the usage of what are the tools that are going to be incorporated into that, which are power tools, what are the types of safety things that we're taking into consideration. As Mr. Brophy said, some of the materials that they meet the spec of being able to hold the load of what it is you plan to store on, those types of things, I think needs to come from our folks. That makes sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say too, we need to know what the weight limits are going to be that are going to be put on there. And I think signage needs to be put up on what the weight limit is. I mean, I don't want anybody getting hurt over this.
I'm not sure that weight limit is going to mean anything to anybody, so I think we're going to have to know about in types of equipment and the number of pieces of that same equipment that would be able to be stored on there. So I think we're going to have to recommend that. I don't know that anybody or any students are going to know of the weight of certain things and the quantity of those things. So I think us being familiar with the pieces and the weight, suggesting how many pieces and what type.
Also, how are they going to be able to reach to the top? Because I don't want somebody climbing on the shelves and then getting hurt that way either. So we need to be
Yep.
very cautious on that.
Yep. And we have those shelves, we have those considerations inside the building as it is already. So
Do you mind if I answer your question real quick? So I think I came into consideration of when the shelf being knocked over, it's not going to be mounted to the wall, and the reason is because that requires a lot of problems, and I was told directly by the building principal that would require a lot of paperwork and problems, and it's not really necessary because my scoutmaster is a structural engineer himself, and if I go back, one of the if you can see here, there's that on the left side of on the left picture, there's a wall gap, and behind that is just a little corner crevices. The shelf comes out a bit and then will touch the other side of the wall. So, and the shelf comes out enough to where even if the cases were put on top, there is still about 3 to 5 inches before the cases can even touch the other side and lean over. And that wall piece is hoping to support if any student is trying to climb on it, hopefully not. And so the shelf won't tip over. And so if someone and somehow it's going to tip over, that wall piece is going to keep it sturdy in place, and the platform on the ground is going to make sure that it stays properly.
I think it's admirable what you want to do, and I'm impressed with all the things that you looked at to get straightened out before you even came to us. You did a lot of work ahead of time, and that shows me a lot about you. Thank you.
anything else from the board? Okay, Declan, shortly the board's going to consider a motion as to whether or not to accept this project or not. So you want to wait around here a little bit to make sure that you hear the results of that. And if it is to be a positive result from that, you and I will be in touch really soon.
Is it okay if I get the email of the facilities director?
If you get the what? I'm sorry?
The email of the facilities director,
Absolutely.
so I can keep in contact with him. And another thing is I'm going to get a piece of graphing paper, write out an official thing before this thing is even designed, hand it in to you and the facilities director to make sure this isn't a problem of what has to happen.
So lucky for you this evening, we do have our director of facilities sitting a couple of seats behind you in the audience. So he's going to hand you a slip of paper with his email address on it before he leaves and you leave tonight so that you can exchange addresses and be in communication. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, that brings us to our second item under discussion, and that is for Mr. Bramble, our Director of Facilities, to come forward and to discuss and further discuss our mechanical system overview. He was here at our previous meeting, and we're going to correct some of the commentary that was stated at that and show a little bit of information on the screen for you to look at as a board of regard to the service contracts in our mechanical systems.
Good evening. First, I want to say that the information I shared at the last meeting was what I was aware of. It was incorrect, and I apologize for any embarrassment, inconvenience that caused the board, the school district in general. It wasn't meant to make anyone look bad, and it certainly wasn't meant to make the district look bad. So I apologize for that. What I put together was an analysis of what we have in our buildings, which is pretty much in line with what Mr. Shields shared already. Where are we going here? At Bash Middle School West, we have chillers under contract already with JCI, and all of our boilers are under contract in all the buildings with 3B, except for Boyertown Elementary. That has all electric resistance heat, so there's no boilers under contract there. For the chillers at Bash and Middle School West are under contract until August of '26, and the new chillers at Middle School East are under contract or under a warranty until beginning of May. So there'll be I met with JCI today to talk about giving us a proposal to bring all three sites in alignment to have since they're all York chillers, have all the chillers under contract with JCI for cleaning and maintenance analysis. So we'll have that proposal probably April or May so that we can get out ahead of it and I can bring it to the board before it needs to be executed. On the boiler side, right now, there's one boiler at East that I have a purchase order out with 3B. It needs some brickwork on the throat. So they have the purchase order for that, and that will be done before heating season starts. And also at West, West chiller number 2 has a refrigerant leak, and I'm getting a proposal from JCI to repair that. And once the cooling season goes away, we'll take that down and make the repairs on that. As far as the motor goes, I guess there's two ways, to Mr. Shields' point, there's two ways to go about it. We definitely need to check the work after it was done. One way is we call it dummy load it, to heat the building up with the boilers so that we can run the chiller, or we can let it go till the spring. However, JCI will not be able to hold the price that they quoted until the spring. He wasn't able to tell me today how much it would go up. I insinuated that we wouldn't be very happy if it went up, but we've had that quote for a number of months now, so I don't know if that price would still be good in the spring. That's something we're going to have to discuss with them, and I can bring that information back and let you all know. And as far as the condition, probably the equipment that's in the worst condition is at Boyertown Elementary School, and as you know, that project is commencing as soon as the proposal right now is to start some demolition work over spring break, and the day after school's over, get in and start the project to replace all of the heating and cooling equipment at Boyertown Elementary, and that'll be a 2-year project or a 2-summer project. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, Boyertown East. What was the plan on the, as far as doing the building? Redoing the roof and then the heating system and the electrical system?
The roof is, what we just had the first meeting about it. The roof is first.
Okay,
And while the roof's going on, the piping will be going on inside the building for the VRFs.
okay,
And the electrical system upgrades can happen concurrently. And then the following summer, the piping continues and the roof should be done. And once the units are set on the roof, the final piping connections can be made and the electrical system should already be finished.
is this building gonna be down? For any length period of time? As far as the summer? You're gonna be able to do the roof and everything else in that amount of time?
Well, there'll be 2 summers.
2 summers,
So the
yeah.
goal is to get the roof finished the first summer so that the equipment can be set, the roof and the curbs for the equipment. And then the equipment will be set at the beginning of the second summer. The building, will be, I would say, virtually unusable as far as any outside groups especially during the first summer. And most likely during the second summer also. From what the engineers say, it'll have to be, I guess, kind of touch and go for the second summer to see how far they get the first summer. And I've already spoken to the principal, the only, I guess, ongoing disruption, if it's possible, the engineers would like to leave the ceilings out of the hallway. All the lights will be hung, everything that's overhead will be supported. I talked to Mr. Keel and he said as long as that's the case, he'll be okay with it. Because it would add expense and time to the project to stop at the end of the summer, the first summer, install all the ceilings, and then rip those new ceilings down again to continue to work the second summer. So as long as the school stays agreeable, and Mr. Keel said he didn't have a problem with that as long as it was safe, that we'd be able to leave the ceilings out, and that'll give us a jump on the second summer.
Okay.
Ms. Deroff, you have a question?
How much insulation are you putting in the ceiling?
Well, the pipes will be insulated. It's a VRF system, so the pipes will be
How
insulated.
much other insulation you put, because we have no insulation in there now, in the ceiling.
I'd have to look at the drawings, and we were mainly talking the mechanical systems at the first meeting. I'll have to look at the drawings and see what they're proposing.
Because I hope we're not doing all this without insulation being put in.
Oh, no, for sure there's,
Well, that's not what the first guy said when he came and talked to us, but
the insulation should be up on the roof. They should be putting thermal board under the roof material before they install the roof. And then the pipes themselves will be insulated, feeding the VRF units in every
I don't know what
classroom.
they're putting in there because there's nothing there now.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm very concerned at where you got that information from because I pulled out and looked back on our minutes and that and our things, and automatically the facilities operation came up for what was already planned. And I don't think you even looked at that prior to coming to us with what needed to be done.
I'm sorry, for what? For the last
For
meeting?
the chiller, yes.
No, I wasn't aware of that. I was here a few weeks and I wasn't aware of that information.
Did you talk to your assistant up there or the secretary up there?
The assistant and the secretary are only here a couple months more than me.
But did you ask them anything to get any help for you?
Yeah, and they didn't seem like they knew anything either.
I find that hard to believe. I really do.
That's why I talked to JCI the next day.
Can you tell me what kind of boiler controls are in place in the buildings?
They're all in the building automation system. Tritium.
Are they heat net? Are they Fire-Eyes?
Well, it's a Honeywell Tritium system. It varies by building to a certain degree depending on who the contractor was. I can't tell you exactly for every building.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bramble.
Treasurer's report.
Good evening. Tonight I'm presenting to you highlights from the August 2025 Treasurer's Report. For local revenue, delinquent tax collection was $106,702.13. Earned income tax collection was $362,553.04. And transfer tax collection was $267,958.87. We received our property tax relief subsidy payment, and that was $1,511,837. And for state revenue, we still don't have the budget being passed, so no payments there yet. For August expenditures, salaries, benefits, and professional services accounted for 37% of our total expenditures for the month of August. And also in August, we paid our final payment towards our 2019 bond series. And that concludes my report for this evening.
Thanks. Okay.
How are we financially not having anything come from the state yet for our payroll?
Most of our revenue comes from local tax collection, so we're good right now. Yeah. You're welcome. Anyone else?
At this time, we're looking for a motion. Oh, you have a question? Go ahead.
How much do we pay charter, cyber charter? Did you ever see the number on that, or
For the what? I'm sorry.
how much are we paying to the charter schools? Did you ever see what that total payment is?
I can get that for you.
Okay.
Are you
Like-
talking for last year, what we paid?
Yeah, or this year so far?
Well, deductions haven't come because the state hasn't been paying, so I don't believe they're getting paid right now.
Okay,
But I can look into that for you.
all right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so just to qualify, just to clarify, so charter schools can get deducted off of your state subsidies. If you're not getting any subsidies from the state, there's no deductions that are coming through, which is what I think she's referencing. So there's no payments being made, provided that they're going through the subsidy deduction process.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're welcome.
I'll second.
Mr. Brophy,
Yes.
Ms. Diroff,
Yes.
Ms. Kratz,
Yes.
Ms. Nyman,
Yes.
Ms. Scott,
Yes.
Mr. Brad Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Roger Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Zawada,
Yes.
Mr. Panarello.
Yes.
Ayes have it.
Takes us to our superintendent's consent agenda. You have 4 items for consideration inside the consent agenda. We reviewed and you've had literature for the item A, settlement agreement. And item B for the student agreements, we have 4 returning students to the agricultural program at Ole Valley. You heard a presentation at our last meeting with regard to the school musical and its proposed budget. And then we have the donation list listed for you there. I am recommending acceptance of all of those donations as none of them appear to have additional things tied to them that you would need to consider in terms of warranties or additional maintenance and things of that nature. So the administration does recommend the approval of the consent agenda, item E, and all those listed.
Sawada seconds.
Ms. Deeroff,
Yes.
Ms. Kratz,
Yes.
Ms. Nyman,
Yes.
Ms. Scott,
Yes.
Mr. Brad Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Roger Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Zawada,
Yes.
Mr. Panarello.
Yes.
Ayes have it.
Item 9, Superintendent's Report, the item as agenda. Under item A, the administration is recommending the approval of the Eagle Scout project as shared with Declan this evening, and are looking forward to some extra storage.
Sawada moves.
You're up seconds.
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Brophy.
Hold on.
Just to make sure we're gonna have everything checked prior to the start of this. That it's.
I said I was going to have that taken care of, and that's what we're going to do.
I just wanna make sure, because that's not part of the recommendation at this point.
No, there's a lot of details that aren't, but I've already stated that we will get that done.
Mr. Brophy,
Yes.
Ms. Deeroff,
Yes.
Ms. Kratz,
Yes.
Ms. Nyman,
Yes.
Ms. Scott,
Yes.
Mr. Brad Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Roger Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Sawada,
Yes.
Mr. Panarello.
Yes.
Ayes have it.
Congrats.
Congratulations, Declan. We will be in touch. Did you get a email confirmation from Mr. Bramble? Good. All right. We'll start a communication chain tomorrow so that we can get this moving as quickly as possible for you. Thank you. Item B, we do have 2 special education service agreements for providership for speech and language, and our TransPerfect, which is the company in which we utilize for translation services. And the administration does recommend approval of both.
Sawada moves.
I'll second. Mr. Earl?
I didn't see one of those before. Do they charge us by the word?
They charge us by a lot of different things to which those services are generated. Sometimes it's due to the nature of time. Sometimes it's actual words. And when you get into translation of languages on paper and so forth, it's not so much time. So
There's like Spanish. Don't we have Spanish here?
we do have Spanish, but for translative services, when we're sitting in IEP meetings for families, when we have to send home formal documentation, legal documentation to families that home languages might be in a different language other than English, and we're required to make sure we meet the mandates of providing them in their home languages for them. So that's where most of these translative services come into play for us, are specifically typically in legal settings and meetings that take place. This isn't so much through the course of the day. We have immersion programs with our ELL programs right now, in which we're immersing students into English and utilizing. This is more on the technical side, behind the scenes in meetings with adults to adults and communication to families.
Did we have these services before?
We did.
Don't we have speech teachers?
We do. This is in addition to an outside service for us of needed things that we don't have employed currently. And since it's not a full needs in terms of a full FTE, this is an outside outsource that we utilize for the services.
So we just use that if we have too many?
Well, so for certain things that we need, if it can't meet the needs of the schedules that we have with the speech and language that we currently have, yes. Sometimes it's going out to alternative settings and working with students in far-reaching settings and so forth. So there's a lot of logistics when it comes to that. So this is yeah.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Motion and second. I'll call the roll. Mr. Brophy,
Yes.
Ms. Deeroff,
Yes.
Ms. Katz,
Yes.
Ms. Nyman,
Yes.
Ms. Scott,
Yes.
Mr. Brad Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Roger Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Zawada,
Yes.
Mr. Panarello.
Yes.
Ayes have it.
Under item C, this is an settlement agreement that's actually been worked on for just under a decade as a mutual agreement release. You've been shared the information with regard to it. This is something that was active under the former CFO, superintendent, and Fox Rothschild as our legal advisor, and they are advising upon the mutual agreement with this charter school.
Panarello moves.
Sawada second.
Mr. Brophy,
Yes.
Ms. Diroff,
Yes.
Ms. Kratz,
Yes.
Ms. Nyman,
Yes.
Ms. Scott,
Yes.
Mr. Brad Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Roger Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Zawada,
Yes.
Mr. Panarello.
Yes.
Ayes have it.
Under item D, with the 2025 winter sports bid list, you can see that attached, and the administration is recommending approval of this bid list as listed.
Sawada moves.
I'll second.
Mr. Brophy,
Yes.
Ms. Diroff,
Yes.
Ms. Kratz,
Yes.
Ms. Nyman,
Yes.
Ms. Scott,
Yes.
Mr. Brad Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Roger Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Zawada,
Yes.
Mr. Panarello.
Yes.
Ayes have it.
Under item E, the administration is recommending the approval of the final personnel agenda document as listed.
Panarello moves.
Ryan seconds.
Mr. Brophy,
Yes.
Ms. Diroff,
Yes.
Ms. Kratz,
Yes.
Ms. Nyman,
Yes.
Ms. Scott,
Yes.
Mr. Brad Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Roger Updegrove,
Yes.
Mr. Zawada,
Yes.
Mr. Panarello.
Yes.
Ayes have it.
I would like to bring to the board's attention, with your approval this evening, it's both sad and happy moment for us here as a district. Tonight, I'd like to honor and recognize Mr. Bobby Moyer, who's dedicated 45 years of service to the Boyertown Area School District. Yes, that's 45 years that he's been working with the district. For nearly a half century, Bobby has been a steady, reliable, and caring presence in our schools day after day, year after year. He has worked tirelessly to make sure our buildings are safe, clean, and welcoming for every student, teacher, and staff member who walk through the doors. Bobby has been so much more than a custodian. He has been a friendly smile in the hallways and a helping hand when things got tough, who quietly worked behind the scenes to keep everything running smoothly. His pride in his work and his dedication to our school community have set an example for us all. 45 years is not just a career, it's a lifetime of commitment, kindness, and service. And while we will miss seeing Bobby every day, we are excited for him as he begins this new chapter of well-deserved rest, joy, and time with loved ones. On behalf of the Boyertown Area School District, we want to thank you, Bobby, for your extraordinary service. Congratulations on your retirement. You've truly left a lasting legacy here, and we're forever grateful for that. So thank you.
Thank you. Push the button. There you go.
It's just been my pleasure to serve the district for it's actually close to 46 years. But when I retire, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for all the years.
Thank you. Thank you.
From the district, we have a nice letter of recommendation. You, and the certificate of recognition states to Robert Moyer in recognition of your 45 plus years of dedicated service to our district. Congratulations on your retirement. And on behalf of the district, just a little tote bag that you can wear to the beach, right? With a nice cup of coffee when you take your walk. All right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
So, thank you.
Bobby, you're going to enjoy retirement, trust me. Even though I'm still driving van in my retirement, it's awesome. You have grandchildren, go enjoy them.
No one has signed up for public comment period number 2. At this time, it's board comment. Ms. Nyman.
Yes, how are we moving along with our trans finder?
Mr. Stouty, would you like to give an update on that, please?
Yeah, it's actually Stop Finder is going to be the app.
Whatever.
I know, I get confused too. There's Route Finder, there's Trans Finder, and there's Stop Finder. Stop Finder is the actual app. There have been 2 training sessions that have been conducted so far. We have solicited internal stakeholders within the district. That will be an initial pilot. The goal is possibly by the end of October. I'm hoping by the time we're celebrating Thanksgiving that we have it all up and running. I'm trying to be a little more realistic. There's pieces of it behind the scenes that we've been advised that if you move too fast and push it out too quickly without going through those little hiccups that may happen with the pilot stakeholder groups in advance, that it will not go as smoothly as we would like it to. So we just want to be super careful. So there's at least one more training that will take place before we start with our pilot group. But it is, we're tracking in Route Finder, and we're able to see our buses, our vans on a daily basis as to where they are. The Stop Finder piece is when the parents will have access within the community. So there's information coming out about that. We have PR kits that we're going to be putting out for the actual push out when it happens. But it'll be a small group of probably about 25 to 50 internal district employees that will be piloting the pilot first before we move forward.
Okay, thank you on that, because I'm still getting questions on that.
We pushed it just as an FYI because we have a lot of non-pubs and parochial schools. We pushed out information because in our initial communication, we were remiss, did not put it out to them, but we followed up with that pretty quickly because they're equally as concerned about the ability to track their buses.
Concerned.
Absolutely.
Everybody's concerned. 6 weeks ago, I asked Mr. Hahn about the staffing for our facilities, and I have received nothing to date. So where are we standing on that?
So we have one custodian that we're trying to fill full-time. We had a couple transfers this week. We have 2 part-times that we're trying to fill, and we're still trying to fill we're trying to get up to about 15 of our substitute custodian pool. We're at about 9 to 10 on that. So we're down probably 2 full-time employees with the 1 FTE and the 2.5s.
Okay, thank you on that. Also at that meeting, I asked you, Dr. David Heiser, about doing an RFP for having our buildings looked at, and you said Mr. Bramble was going to be doing that. And you had thought within the next 2 weeks you would have something. As I said, it's been 6 weeks, so I'm looking to see where we are on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure I said 2 weeks. A feasibility study and an evaluation of study of a district takes a lot longer than that. So Mr. Bramble's aware of the project that I placed in front of him. So as soon as he completes the 9 buildings and looks at that, we'll get that data back to you. I think one of the things the board and you would want to consider if you're talking about going out on an RFP for facilities would be, what's your purpose, right? Without a purpose, there's really no understanding of what it is we're trying to target in terms of that.
My purpose is, yes, we've done renovations to buildings, but the renovations have not been updating some of the older part. It's just been bringing the newer part on. So we might have some old wiring, we might have some old piping. I don't know. We need to find that out, and we need to see what needs to be done.
Well, I think what we ought to do first is have a discussion at a facilities committee meeting about what's the purpose, what's the goal, what are you looking to do specifically, and then we can let you know internally whether or not we have the capacity to evaluate that for you, or if we need to go out with some other third party where you would then attend to an RFP and go through the processes of that because that's probably a fairly significant cost with the size of the district that we have. And we have a number of buildings that are all of great age that, you open up certain aspects of the building under code and current code, you're probably then forced to do a lot of things that are probably not in the hundreds of thousands, but in the tens of millions. So there needs to be some concept of what it is, the things that goals you're specifically intending to look upon before I would really go out to that aspect of proposal. But we can talk about that as if you have ideas.
Well, I'm concerned. I mean, I don't want a building to go down and then we don't have place for our students.
Well, I'm concerned due to the fact that we have significantly aged buildings that through decades nothing's been done. So I'm as, if not more concerned than the board has been in decades with regard to the evaluation of buildings and systems and many other such things. So what I think we need is for the board to consider what's the goal and what is the type of things that you're going to be looking for and desiring. Because if your goal is we want to evaluate 6 elementary schools and we want to update the systems and the HVAC and the systems and the wiring and the safety and the fire alarms and the ADA compliances, I think we'd be well beyond our ski tips in terms of understanding what the tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars we'd be talking about in order to do some of those types of things. Because opening up a building opens you up to many code requirements of the present, not to what you're grandfathered in.
I understand
So I think we need to be cognizant of that and not simply, bull into something that would expose us to telling our public something that maybe is not necessarily affordable to what the district has in mind in terms of some of its finances as well.
But the safety of our students is the most important.
Absolutely. And that's why we continue to evaluate our buildings based on the safety needs first.
And that's why I'm saying if the electric isn't up to code or isn't up to par, or the boilers aren't compatible or piping's not, we need to look at all of
Well,
that.
we are
know
constant,
that?
but I think one of the things you need to understand is that we do look at that constantly. We have service contracts. We do evaluate the systems and things. It's like almost anything you have inside your own house. The moment you own it, the moment it's old, right? It's now old because it's now generating that time. Our buildings are older in their build and many of the systems inside. That doesn't mean they're unsafe. Our buildings are still safe. We evaluate them through our maintenance staff and any other outside entities that we need with service contracts to maintain the safety for our students and staff. I think what we need to consider is if what we consider old just because it's not to code today doesn't make it unsafe. It's still grandfathered in. It's still allowable and for us to operate. It's how much do you want to bite off when it comes to some of those things. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't begin to evaluate that because we do need to evaluate that. I would highly recommend that and you're going to hear on October 1st, 14th about a feasibility study for all-day K that's looking at the operational side of the feasibility of doing that. I would certainly suggest that we start to get a little larger comprehensive study of the feasibility of the safety and code requirements of all of our buildings and what that feasibility is in terms of addressing that at our buildings.
And also looking back at what Mr. Shield had presented about the facilities, in there was 50 additional cameras. Did we get any of those cameras?
The cameras, I believe, are on back order from what I understand now. So I'd have to get back to you on information as to what exactly is the result of that and where those stand. I will tell you that your comment earlier with regard to Mr. Shield and the budget and the presentation, Your budget was passed at the end of May. We're not going to start anything, and we're not into this fiscal year. We just became in July into this fiscal year. So those things that were presented in March, we don't start those. You have to pass a budget in order for us to then move forward with regard to some of the suggestive things in nature of that. And that's what we did. What has been done in the past, I'm not sure. But functionally, you hadn't passed a budget, and if you were expecting us to move forward on some sort of motor prior to a budget being passed, that wasn't going to happen. We're going to do things with fidelity of what the law says that we need to do in creating a budget. That was in for this coming budget, and we're going to do that. And you heard this evening about some of the things that could be considered with regard to that motor. I think the board will need to determine as to the when and how they want to address that. But it is in the budget for this school year, this fiscal year.
We'll talk later on it.
Ms. Kratz?
I just want to thank Audrey and Allison for sharing their reports with us, and I look forward to hearing from them in the future.
Declan, I just want to tell you and that see a real leader in you for seeing a need and taking the initiative and following through with everything and continuing as you are. I'm sure that your solution to this little problem will be appreciated for years to come. And Bobby, have a great retirement. I know you're going to miss us, though.
You don't need your tablet today. The only thing I have today is our 2017 graduate, Trey Savage, was just named the Minor League Player of the Year by Baseball America. So, yay, Trey. Great job. I just hope you don't forget us as you progress to a more prestigious position. And the other thing I have, I asked for numbers on the cyber school, and I was told I'd get those, and that's been quite a few weeks now. I don't have those yet, but I do have a question on our regular school in the high school. We used to have a number that if we didn't have that many students in a class, we didn't hold that class. Do we still have that?
I think we keep a number in mind when we have that. Scheduling is just simply not that easy, because if we do have a staff member that's got availability, when we develop the master schedule in April, May, June, and we can get those 12, 11 AP, if it's AP Lit that are jammed up on APs and they're banned throughout, and I've got a teacher available, still has a hole in their schedule, we're gonna run that, and we're gonna make that work in regards to meeting the needs of those students. There's some delicacies to scheduling that, a number just doesn't fit it all the time. In a global system, yeah, certainly if we have a low numbers, we're not going to run those sections, and we do cut sections every year due to that. So to say that there's a number somewhere, there isn't a number written down. Mr. Sparks speaks with Mr. Stout, myself, when we're making those final decisions on sections to make sure that we're doing our utmost to maintain the fidelity and the finances with regard to that. Some of it comes down to, do we have available staff? And sometimes, we're lucky enough where we might have a certified teacher that we could shift around to be able to do that. And sometimes we'll put a little bit more into, let's say, maybe a higher level class, an AP class that might be able to take on some more students in there from the responsibility end that won't need as much support, so that we can and don't leave hanging a dozen students that could really use that particular course, that AP course, for the needs of what they desire, in their junior year, as they're trying to really build that profile for application phases. So I don't know, it's not an easy question to answer. I can tell you there isn't really a number written down, but there are numbers in our minds as we develop that. And we're certainly considerate of that.
Okay, the other question I have is, I was surprised to see tonight on the custodians that we're not needing more, that we're in pretty good shape. Which brings me to ask, we're only in the end of September, and the information I have, which I don't want to rely on, how much did we spend so far in overtime? If we have all these,
I don't know the answer to that. I'll have to get you the information for that, but I can get you where we are to date, Mr. Hahn. You just make sure that we write that down and we get you a number for
Thank
that.
you.
You're welcome.
Mrs. Deeroff, do you want all overtime or only in operations?
no, just the custodians, that, because we're in pretty good shape, I guess. Thank you.
Nothing.
I don't have any.
Declan, I applaud you for everything that you're doing. I think it's great. Your other ROTC in the band just makes you a better rounded person in the future. I'll offer to help. If you ask my wife, I can't hang a picture, but if you need somebody to look at the door or whatever, reach out to me, please. This is a charge for Allison and Audrey. A bunch of local schools, since Charlie Kirk's passing, they've started chapters for Turning Point USA. And if you hear of any of your fellow students that would like to start that chapter, please let us know. I know Ms. Kratz and Mrs. Scott would also enjoy getting involved with that. So if you hear anything, please let us know. Mr. Bob, thank you for all your help and your service. It's much appreciated.
Ladies, I wanted to welcome you back. You did a great job tonight. It was very extensive. Mr. Moyer, congratulations. 45 years. Ridiculous. Congratulations. And Declan, I would love to be updated when you're done and see what you did. I'd love to see the finished product. So come back and see us when everything's done, all right?
Don't worry.
That's it from me.
I'll try like you said, I'll try and frame a picture. Don't hold me that accountable to framing a picture, but I can try and double show.
All right, Declan, you're not building a ton of confidence here in me. Come on now. We're going to get this done, right? It's going to be done well. All right, very good. Just some upcoming meeting dates. And again, Allison, Audrey, welcome on board. Allison, welcome back. And we look forward to having you here for the remainder of the year. October 14th, we're going to have our Education and Student Services Committee meeting at 6 p.m. here in the boardroom, followed by the Committee of the Whole meeting at 7 p.m. So there is a little bit, due to the calendar, there's a little wider gap. It's not a 2-week break, but a 3-week break in between this meeting and our next meeting time. And we look forward to seeing everybody on October 14th.
One thing to add, the piggyback off of Ms. Deeroff. So Trey Savage, we should celebrate our past students. Trey actually broke the Toronto Blue Jays debut record with 9 strikeouts. So he holds the record now for Toronto Blue Jays. He pitched in one game, and then he pitched in the game that also got them into the playoffs. So he's doing amazing things. And I coached him at football, and I like to think that while I didn't help him in baseball, maybe me being his football coach drove him to baseball. So he can thank me later. Motion to adjourn. Meeting adjourned.